Yeah, we're back making the walk podcast. I think this is episode 3. We're back at it. We were kind of off trying to tie up some logistical loose ends, I guess you could say. I don't know. But we're here. We're here this time, man. We got a lot of shit to talk about. First of all, we've got UFC Fight Night, Sandhagen versus Vera, how that whole thing went down. We've got the current talk, of course, and then we're going to talk about Alex versus Izzy. You know, low key, what is this, term 4? You know, the fourth go. So we're going to talk about that as well and talk about that entire card. It's an amazing card down in Miami. We almost went. We were almost there, but, you know, things, you know, we got kids and work and all this stuff. So we had to get that straight, but we will be watching. But we'll jump into all of that. For all of those that are new, Making the Walk podcast, we're on all the socials. And, of course, like, subscribe, do that whole thing. And, you know, we got other videos that come out as well. But, you know, join the bandwagon while it's a little light. And when it gets full, you won't get pushed off. So, yeah, we'll jump into it. So first thing, let's go back. Let's talk about what happened. So UFC Fight Night, Sandhagen versus Vera in San Antonio. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is that crowd. So the crowd was amazing. So what we've seen lately, I think, in the crowds in London, the crowd in France, that one was amazing too. We've seen some really hype crowds that are very knowledgeable, and it's almost like they know when to cheer. And if you're fighting from there, oh, it's like you get this energy jolt, and you can see it in the fighters when they're fighting. Specifically, that second fight of the night, really the first fight was amazing too, but the second fight of the night, CJ Vergara against Daniel Lacerda, man. So I'll just jump right into that one because that one was amazing. They got the bonus for that one for fight of the night. You normally don't see that in one of the early fights, but it deserved it. So CJ, being from San Antonio, fighting from that area, he's a vet, and who's a pretty exciting fighter himself, who is on a losing skid, but every fight that he's been in has been super entertaining. Lacerda was putting it on him. I mean, in watching it, I was just waiting for CJ to just curl up and, you know, submit to those strikes. But that crowd, man, that crowd got behind him. That's the first thing. Secondly, the fact that it was at home, I think the ref gave him a little bit more leeway, you know, to fight it off. And he did. And because of Fredder trying to pour it on and get him out of there, I think that definitely weathered him. And he got super tired. And CJ was able to take over and finish him. You could feel the energy through the television from the crowd, from CJ, and it was an amazing moment for him, for his family, his friends, to be able to see him come back like that. It was pretty dope. For that to be the second fight of the night, the first 2 fights of the night were just, I mean, fire. Definitely enjoyed that. I won't talk about every fight on the card, but I'll jump into the ones that kind of stick out to me. Macy Barber against Angela Lee. Andrea Lee. What's wrong with me? Andrea Lee. So if you watch that fight, I mean, I definitely scored it for Andrea Lee, even though, you know, I do kind of pull for Macy. I like her personality and how she approaches it and her confidence and everything. And Andrea being from Texas, from Atlanta, Texas. I don't even know where the hell that is. Where's Atlanta, Texas? All these cities that are named and they're like other cities that are more popular in Texas, like Paris and Atlanta. It's always throws me off. It's so weird. Italy, Texas, like. Anyway, so Macy got the nod. Andrea took her down, I would say, every round. Took her down and controlled her every round. Macy had the more powerful strikes. She's definitely the stronger striker, has more pop in her punches. But it felt like Andrea really controlled her for the majority of the fight and was able to get, well, really just the most control, because most of her work was done by the takedown, you know, sometimes in the clinch. She just seemed like she was better in the grappling area. Macy landed some shots. You know, don't get it twisted. You know, you think it was like a one-way traffic. Macy definitely landed some shots, some big ones. But in terms of winning and swaying rounds, I didn't get that. And, I mean, one of the judges gave her a 30-27, and you'll see just like the judging As far as Texas has gotten with the crowds and people understanding everything that's going on with the crowd, that's how far away we are in the judging. And that athletic commission is got some bad apples, that's for sure. Like some people who do not know what they're looking at. I'm sure they're fine people, but that doesn't get you to do a good job. And they were doing an extra shitty job. Not all three judges, just specifically one of them. So that became a theme, and it's a theme you don't want, during the fights. It sways the fights, and that's not something that we need to be talking about after the fight. So anyway, Macy came out victorious on this one. Both of them are both in the teens. I think one was 11 and one was 13. I think Andrea is 11, Macy's 13. I don't see a reason that they should be like... First of all, I don't think Andrea should really drop too far at all. I know you have to do that just because of the win-loss, but I don't think that she really should drop too far because of how competitive that fight was. But let's look at the rankings. Let's see what they did. It looks like they moved Macy up three spots to number 10. Andrea dropped down 1 to number 12. So that's not a big thing to be upset about. So she'll continue to do what she does. She's actually, I didn't know how old she was until really researching it. She's getting up there in age. So if she's going to make a move toward the championship, that window's starting to come down a little bit. But it was a pretty important fight for the division, for the future of the division. And for Macy, she was able to eke by on that win, and she'll be able to move up and fight people like Amanda Ribas, people like that, to kind of get her closer to her goal of fighting for a belt. Speaking of belts, let's talk about a former belt holder, Holly Holm, the 41-year-old. Apparently, this is a D1 Holly Holm now, NCAA Holly Holm, against Yana Santos. And I didn't know she had this wrestling. I think that being that she trains where she trains, and they've, as far as like Jackson Wink, formerly known as Jackson Wink, it's not really Jackson Wink anymore, but being in that particular environment has really taught her a lot of wrestling principles, from being somebody who was primarily a striker, a boxer, a Hall of Fame boxer, to be able to come in and control someone like that, not only in the clinch, but actually executing takedowns, different kinds of takedowns, is pretty impressive, especially at the age that she is now, changing her game up. So for the most part, she said that she wanted to strike, but because of Santos being so aggressive in what she was attempting to do, she felt that going the route of wrestling was the best way to secure the fight, get it in a comfortable area for herself. And she did that for 3 rounds. I mean, it wasn't close at all. Santos fought well off of her back, but, fighting off of your back doesn't help a ton. Very, very, very few times has a judge rightfully given somebody the round off of their back. It's bad optics. So Holly was able to control it. In round 2, it looked like she was actually getting close to finishing it. She almost got on the crucifix. So that was light work for Holly. I don't know what she does next because she's number 3. The people above her, Raquel Pennington, she's already beat her twice. And then above that is Juliana Pena. Juliana is campaigning for a rubber match against Amanda Nunes, who has already fought Holly, but she's only fought her once. I think out of those 3, if she's going to fight up, I think the only person that she could possibly fight is Amanda. It's the biggest fight in the division simply because of their both of their name recognition. Holly didn't make a big push for it. It does sound like she doesn't really want to fight Rocky just because why? She's already beat her twice. Why would you want to fight her again? But I think if they want to do that, they could have her fight Amanda. I think that it could be interesting, maybe. But if they do something like go to Mexico and want to hold Amanda until they go to Mexico and have Amanda fight Irene Aldana, that would be a more impactful fight for the division. Holly would just be kind of chilling in the wings. Maybe go down as the backup fighter. That's a thought. But Holly did what she was supposed to do and got out of there with a win. So the main event, Cory Sandhagen against Marlon Chito Vera. So I had this. This was a very important one for me coming into this year when it was announced because of what I think of Sugar Sean O'Malley and what I think that he can do for that division, infuse even more popularity to that division. I think that division is the best division in the sport. I think it's the deepest division in the sport. It's the most interesting division in the sport. So I definitely look at those top players in the division very, very closely. And Cory Sandhagen was a person that I thought he beat TJ Dillashaw when they fought. And, he had some unfortunate losses, against Peter Yan where, he just kind of faded at the end. And then Aljo just got him in a bad position and submitted him quickly. That was kind of his springboard into title contention. So I think that Cory is a 5-star, 5-tool athlete or fighter, and he really showed it in this fight. He made Chito, he stifled him. He made Chito almost gun shy until the very end of the fight when Chito knew that he had to throw everything out there to possibly finish him. Chito is a notorious slow starter, and everybody knows that, but this was a 5-round fight, and I think a lot of people thought that his power was going to start to kick in around round 3. He was going to really start to touch Cory and wear him down and, possibly get him out of there around 4, round 5. But I just didn't see that. I didn't think that Cory would put himself in situations to really get hit like that. In the Song Yadong fight, he showed his wrestling pedigree. He showed what he was able to do with takedowns. And when you add in those takedowns, that makes your striking just that much more potent because people have more to think about. And I think that he overloaded Chito Vera's circuits. And he was just thinking about too much. He was thinking about so much it caused inactivity. And while he was inactive, Cory was doing all kinds of things. The one thing that I think Chito did well was when he was on his back, he was able to cut him up with elbows, but he stayed on his back and accepted the position. And I don't know what that was due to. I don't know if he thought that he could wait and do some damage later on, reserve his energy. I'm not sure what the plan was, but he never got out of first gear. And that sucks for him because now he's going to have to fight down. One of the people that he called out on Twitter was Peter Yan. So that would be an interesting fight. That would suck for Peter Yan, though, because he is on a losing streak. Now, he's lost to top fighters, but, what is this, 3 in a row now? It's not a good look. And fighting another killer like that would be pretty tough. I think if I'm Yan, I'm not taking that fight. But Chito, I think he needs to kind of assess his game plan as far as how he starts the fights. He has the ability to get people out of there late or even early, if he touches them right. He definitely has power. He has durability. He can put himself in bad situations and get out of them because he's really, really hard to finish. But he puts himself behind the 8 ball every time when he starts slow like that. And I think that that's something for his team to kind of look at and see if there's something they can do to kickstart that and get going faster. But Cory Sandhagen, on the other hand, I'm not sure what he's going to do. The person that he called out with that super weird call out was Merab Dvalishvili, and Merab actually is rumored to be in talks to fight Umar Nurmagomedov, and which would be amazing, and that would jump another person up there. We got the Sandhagen. Or not Sandhagen, but Sugar Sean, when he jumped up there after fighting Peter Yan. We got Adrian Yanez. He's going to make a jump if he beats Rob Font. Now we got Umar going to make a jump if he would fight Merab and win that fight, which is a tall task. But it would be an amazing fight, a nice clash of styles. So with that kind of being off the table, I don't think that Cory would fight Umar. That wouldn't really necessarily benefit him very much. If anything, that's just, that's a lot of risk with very, very little reward. I think that he may wait if Merab has to wait because of his injury. He said he fought his last fight injured. So he may just wait and see how things shake out at the top. I think undoubtedly whoever wins out of the Cejudo Ling fight will fight Sean next. So those three are kind of off the table. So we'll see. We'll see how things shake out. But Sandhagen definitely deserves something big after this win. So current talk, mentioned one of them, Merab and Umar. That would be pretty dope if that happens, but I don't know if that's something that they'll push later on, being as though Merab is kind of the personal guard of Aljamain at this point. He's going to sit there in that type position and fight whomever comes to the door to get in, I guess. We'll see how long that lasts. But another thing that popped up was Bilal Muhammad he posted some pictures on social media of him and Ali Abdelaziz meeting with Dana White. And of course, we know that he's made a lot of comments in the press about being very upset about the Colby Covington and Leon Edwards proposed fight that Dana brought up in the post-fight for after UFC 286. He's been very upset about that. He's also been linked to fighting Shavkat Rakhmonov, which, of course, I did a whole video about how I think that Colby doesn't necessarily deserve the next title shot. I actually do think it's Bilal, even though I know it's not the most sexy fight. After what I saw him do to Sean Brady, what he's done as far as being consistent, I think that it only makes sense for him to get that shot. If he fights Shavkat, I think that he's probably asking them for a little bit more money, a little bit more security. Because if he beats Shavkat, how can you deny him after that? So we'll see how that shakes out. Another thing that's been announced is that UFC is going back to London July 22nd. So I saw online that MMA Guru or MMA Joey mentioned that he thought that it was going to be Tom Aspinall coming back, which could be. Could be. I've seen a lot of training videos of Tom moving around and things like that. He looks really good. And let me be on record right now. I think that Tom Aspinall at some point is going to rule the heavyweight division. I see nothing but champion written all over that dude. But who knows if that's too early, but being as though Leon and Colby has been semi-announced, that would make sense for them to go back. And that's the summer, that's July, that Colby mentioned that when he was talking to Michael Bisping. All kinds of lines up. I know that people were initially thinking that it was going to be International Fight Week, but if you're trying to capitalize on what Leon is in that country, it would make sense to go back and put him back in that arena in July to fight Colby. So that one will be very, very interesting. We'll see how that whole thing shakes out. So let's talk about the big thing here. UFC 287 fight preview. The one down in Miami. So the king of Miami is back. Jorge Masvidal fighting Gilbert Burns. And then we got, for the unofficial fourth time, we've got Israel Adesanya challenging to get his belt back against Alex Pereira. So I'll go through the card, some of the highlights of the ones that I find pretty interesting, and then, we'll see what people think on this one. So the first one, Lupi Garanez against Cynthia Calvillo. We'll start at the bottom of the card, the prelims. So this one is interesting, and the question I have on this one is this the end of the line for Cynthia? She's coming to the fight with a 4-fight losing streak, and she's lucky she got to the 4-fight losing streak, and she lost to some pretty stiff competition, but 4-fight losing streak nonetheless. I think that if she loses this one, that she's going to be gone. She's 35 years old, and, this might be her falling off a cliff. She's never been a big finisher, a big threat to put people away or anything of that nature. So it'll be interesting to see how she attacks this fight. But I do think that if she loses, she's cut. On to Joe Pyfer against GM3, Gerald Mershaw. This one will be interesting as well. Joe Pyfer. So what's interesting to me is how much they've hyped up Bo Nickel versus how little they've hyped up Joe Pyfer. And I do also wonder, are they going to try to keep these two away from each other as they progress in their careers? So Joe Pyfer also came off the Contender Series, and he's one that Dana, on that particular Contender Series, Dana really singled him out for being the person that really brought it. I think he's the only one that he picked that week to go to the UFC because the rest of the fights, in Dana's opinion, weren't as explosive, and people weren't really trying to finish fights. They were just trying to get wins. So Joe Pyfer was one that he was pushing, but then they let the foot off the gas, and here he is on a prelim card. But while Bo Nickel is the first card, or the first fight on a pay-per-view. I mean, not really even, but Joe's going to do his thing. Now, he's getting a tough test in GM3. If Gerald Mershaw can get it to the ground, then it's going to be very scary for Joe Pyfer. But that's if he gets it to the ground. Joe Pyfer has that power. And we'll see if he can put it to use and get GM3 out of here the same way that Khamzat Chimaev did. Maybe not the same way. Khamzat did it with one punch. I don't know if he can beat that one. So the next person that might be retiring, Michelle Waterson Gomez against Luana Pinheiro. So my question was, are we saying goodbye to the Karate Hottie on a 2-fight losing streak, and her opponent that she's going against is on an 8-fight winning streak? Now, I know that these things converge. Sometimes they're unavoidable. But I think that if you haven't seen Luana Pinheiro, she's a person that is easy on the eyes, I'll say that. And I think that maybe they are trying to give her a little push with that audience. A lot of people tune in to see Michelle Waterson. She's very popular, and a lot of it is because of her look, but also her story. Her being a single mother, her husband being part of her training and things of that nature, her being a former champion in another organization. It's all been helpful, but she hasn't been able to get over that hump to get to championship status. She was close at one point, but didn't quite get there. And I don't think that at this point that she's going to transition into that, unfortunately. So I think that they may be trying to push that audience over to the newbie. And Michelle is the underdog, but it's only a slight underdog. So it may not be as lopsided as it sounds, but I don't think that she's going to win this fight. And I think that they're going to have to make a decision. And she may make the decision for them. So we'll see what happens there. The next one is, what would have been Michael Chiesa against Li Jingliang. And Li had to pull out of the fight because of a spinal injury. One thing to note about this one is Kevin Lee actually reached out to fill in. Of course, they fought before, but Michael Chiesa did not want to do that fight for whatever reason. This is what Kevin said. Who knows if that's what really happened? Kevin is a loose cannon. But Michael Chiesa reportedly or allegedly didn't want to take the fight, and so that fight was canceled. It's a possibility that somebody may fill in to fight Michael, but it hasn't been announced at this point. So we'll see how that shakes out. So on to the next, Chris Curtis against Kelvin Gastelum. This is another one that I think that could lead to retirement. There's a lot of possibilities of retiring on this card. Chris Curtis against Kelvin Gastelum. Chris Curtis is the favorite. Kelvin is the underdog, but it's still pretty close. And I think my question is, has Kelvin started his decline in obscurity? And does Curtis have a title run in him? So the first question, has Kelvin begun his decline? He actually has been really on the low a lot. He hasn't been putting out a ton of things and doing a lot of interviews, anything of that nature, which could mean one of the two things. He could be transitioning to his next career, or he could just be putting in a whole lot of work and he's doing, being a silent assassin over there. We don't know, but I'm going to lean to this side and say that he's probably looking to see what he's going to do after this. That's just a guess, but I think that after this fight is going to really tell where he is in his career, in his mindset, in his hunger to continue this particular grind. I think his tweet or his Twitter handle is on a mission to gold or a mission for gold. And yeah, I don't see that happening, bro. But Chris Curtis, from looking at his last fight against, I can't remember his name. Anyway, he got a knockout. And so what was interesting about that fight, and we just watched it last night, was how crisp his boxing is and how high his guard is. And that actually plays into Kelvin's hands. If Curtis continues to have that high guard where he puts his hands over his head like this, it leaves all the takedown open. And we know that Kelvin throws a lot of overhands and things like that. He doesn't do a ton of setting up, but he does have a pretty slick little jab. And you can go back to look at his fight against Izzy to see how he was doing that, especially against a taller fighter. Chris's boxing is very crisp, but he's more reactionary. He will let the other person lead the dance and try to look for his power shots. But I still favor Chris in this. I think Chris gets it done, and I think he gets it done emphatically. I think he knocks him out, or at least gets a TKO. And I think that Kelvin's going to have to make a business decision after this on whether he wants to continue to do this or not. So moving on to the main card. And the phenom is here. Raul El Nino. Is that his name? He stole that from Gilbert Melendez Rosas Jr. against Christian Rodriguez. So the question here is, does Raul Rosas continue his run toward history? And what I mean by his run toward history is the fact that he wants to be the youngest UFC champion ever. He wants to eclipse John Jones' record. I think he was 23 years old. Macy Barber said that. It even gave her the Future nickname, and that didn't occur. It's almost like a little curse. I don't think you should really put that on yourself, but he might be 19 now. He's got a little bit of time, and they put him up against somebody with a similar amount of experience in Christian Rodriguez, but this is going to be his toughest fight. Christian Rodriguez is well-rounded. He does know what he needs to do to win fights like this. He's got some experience. I think he's 8-2, so he's got some pretty good experience as well. So I think that this is going to be his toughest fight to date. I don't know if this should have been on the main card, but I feel like they're doing this. Maybe this is the thing now. They put these young phenoms as the first fight of the main card to get those eyes on them the same way they did Bo Nichols. So I think that Raul Rosas does win this fight, though. I think it'll be a submission and possibly in the second round. Who knows? Let's see. Did I call my shot? We'll see. So the next one is Kevin Holland, Big Mouth himself, Trailblazer, against Santiago Ponzinibbio. I think that this is going to be a very telling fight, and we could get another retirement on this one. But we'll see. It depends on how the fight plays out. So the question is, will Ponzinibbio find his explosiveness, or will he wilt to the Trailblazer? So Santiago Ponzinibbio, in his heyday, he was very explosive. He had one-hitter-quitter power, and he used a lot of pressure, and every shot that he threw is almost like a video game. You can see the person's power meter just going smaller and smaller. And I feel like he doesn't necessarily have that. At least he doesn't have as many of those bombs to throw when he enters these fights. And so Kevin Holland, being the person that he is, I think that his ability to use his straight attacks, straight right, straight left, kicks up the middle, things like that, and plus he has the longest reach in the division, that's going to beat Santiago Ponzinibbio's power hooks. And I think that Kevin is going to piece him up. Santiago definitely doesn't want to go to the ground with Kevin. And I think that Kevin's not going to play that kickboxing game that he did with Wonder Boy. And if it goes to the ground, he'll use his ground skills to put him in bad positions as far as submissions and things like that. So I think it's going to be one-way traffic. I think that Kevin's going to get him out of there maybe early third round. I think that Kevin wins that fight and then calls for something interesting. Kevin's always going to be interesting in the division because of how he fights. So the next one, I've been waiting for this fight for a minute, is Adrian Yanez against Rob Font. So I am unapologetically an Adrian Yanez fan. He does remind me of a young, smaller version of Jorge Masvidal. And it's really his swagger, his ability to strike, and just the way that he carries himself. I really like the way that he does that. And he's fighting against a person who's been in there with some killers himself, and that's Rob Font. And the question that I had on this one was, did Adrian Yanez finish what Cheeto started and finally get Font's chin to crack? So if we can recall, going back to Cheeto against Rob Font, Cheeto put a beating on Rob Font. And credit to you, Rob Font, and this is actually, as a fighter, I'm sure this is what you never really want to hear, but he was really tough, and he didn't go. He didn't go out. He gave himself a chance, even though he got his ass whooped. He gave himself a chance, and, he wasn't able to exercise that, but he's a really tough dude, and I think that may have been his turning point in his career. It could have been his Rory McIlroy against Robbie Lawler moment. Rory wasn't the same after that. After that fight, I don't know what happened to him, and I think that fight took a lot out of him. He left something in the cage that particular night, and I think that Rob Font left something in the cage that night against Cheeto, and I think that we're about to see the decline of Rob Font. And then Adrian Yanez, another fight, like I said earlier, where he's fighting up quite a bit, and I think Rob Font is number 6. I think Yanez is going to take that spot. And so now we're going to start to see the new guard of the bantamweight division. We got Yanez. We're going to have Umar at some point. I think Saeed's going to get back on the horse. We got a lot of folks coming up. And, of course, you got Sugar Sean up there at the top. Peter Yan's not going anywhere. This division is going to be nasty for a while. But I think that Adrian Yanez takes that fight, and I think he takes it by knockout. I think he's going to knock him out. It may not be early, but I think that chin, it's been tested, and I think it's hurt, and I think it's cracked, and I think that Adrian Yanez is going to finally break it. So on to the co-main event of the evening, Gilbert Durinho Burns against Jorge Gamebred Masvidal. All right. Again, I'm a Jorge Masvidal fan, but I'm realistic. Jorge is 38 years old, and I don't know how many big fights he has left in him where he's on the top of his game. Now, mind you, I do not think that he has declined. I think that he's fought people who are just a level better in the areas that they are very good in. Allow me to explain. He fought Kamaru Usman the first time on short notice, and Kamaru out-cardioed him and pressed him up against the fence and did his annoying foot stomps. Got a few takedowns later on when Jorge's gas tank started to dwindle and he wasn't able to defend, and he won that fight. The second fight, Jorge trained a ton on his wrestling because he didn't want that to happen. And as I said before, when I was talking about Cory Sandhagen and his ability to wrestle and that improving his striking, same thing applies here for Kamaru Usman, because Jorge, when Kamaru did the feint and acted like he was going to go down through that hand, and you notice when he throws that hand, he follows through. That's because his balance was already shifted that way, because he already feinted as if he was going to do a takedown. He may have been doing a punch into a takedown, but because Jorge really committed to stopping that takedown, his face was completely wide open. And there he went, sleepy night-night. So there's another situation where wrestling took the advantage of Jorge striking away. The third one, Colby Covington, who has another lung somewhere in his body. That cardio and the wrestling again, was his Achilles heel in that fight, and it zapped his energy. You saw when they were striking, Colby wasn't touching him like that. Sure, he got a few things in, and that is a testament to his wrestling. But when Colby didn't even threaten takedowns, a brief period, he got touched and he got dropped. So that's why I say that Jorge's not done. He's not washed. He's fighting the top of the top. And now he's fighting another top of the top in Gilbert Durinho Burns. The difference is Gilbert is an ace in his jiu-jitsu. That's well documented. He's one of the best jiu-jitsu players in the entire sport. However, there's jiu-jitsu and then there's wrestling. And wrestling is where I feel like Durinho is not as good as those other two. Jorge has exhibited the ability to stop the wrestling takedowns of other jiu-jitsu players because their wrestling entries and takedowns aren't as good as traditional wrestlers. Case in point, when he fought against Damian Maia. So when Damian Maia was trying to take him down, yes, it was annoying, and yes, it did lead to a split decision win. However, he wasn't able to dominate him. He wasn't able to take him down. And because of the change in mindset from then to now, when Jorge was on his feet, at that point, he was really fighting more to survive, but now he's fighting to hurt and maim. So I think that mindset is going to give him more of a chance. Now, while I favor Gilbert Burns, I do not discount Jorge Masvidal's ability to make this fight into a slugfest. And I think that if he makes it into a stand-up war, then he's going to get the better of Gilbert because of his technical striking. So I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to take Jorge Masvidal. But I'm not betting anything on that. So the last fight, and this is the most important fight on the card, that's why it's the main event, for the middleweight championship, Israel Adesanya, the last style bender against Alex Poitin Pereira. Izzy is the betting favorite. It's a pretty close line. I'm sure it's going to move a little bit, but he's the favorite, and I think for good reason. Looking at that previous fight, he was up in that fight pretty substantially, and Alex needed a finish in order to win that fight. So what's going to make this fight different? Well, I think that both sides are going to grapple more because even though Alex won the fight, he got clipped pretty bad at the end of the first round. And when he was instituting his wrestling, which he actually got a pretty decent takedown in round 2, when he was instituting his wrestling, he made it into a bigger fight or into a better fight for him. If he's able to take Izzy down and get top pressure, that's when that humongous frame of his, 225 pounds on fight night, starts to really factor in. All the work that he's done with Glover Teixeira, that's going to really start to kick in if he's able to take him down and start to do ground and pound, get top pressure and things like that. He doesn't have to submit him. All he has to do is touch him with that left hand a few times, and the fight's done. On the flip side, Izzy has been doing this longer. He has more MMA fights. He's often been on the defensive end of, well, not even often, every time he's been on the defensive end of wrestling. But we saw in that fight that he does have a mind set up for when wrestling takedowns should occur. I think that in this camp, he's probably, I'm guessing, been drilling more entries into doing takedowns, more technique on actually getting takedowns and securing them. His knowledge of where to be on the ground, just because of his experience, has got to be better than Alex's. Even though Alex is allegedly a brown belt, I would swing that meter towards Izzy as far as his knowledge of where to be on the ground, how to maneuver on the ground. I'm not saying that Izzy's going to go and submit him, get a rear naked choke. That would be amazing. That would blow my head off. So I don't think that that's going to happen. But I think that he would be able to get him down and get some ground and pound. So it's almost the same game plan for both. They both have to grapple and they both have to wrestle more in order to secure this victory. Alex doesn't want to play the point game. That would be a mistake because he's done this previous times. The first time that they fought, he played the point game and he almost lost that fight. As a matter of fact, if you go back and look at it, he was surprised that he won. The second time, he was again losing the fight and he was able to flatline Izzy. The same thing that happened in the third fight where he was losing the fight and he was able to catch him. The same thing that I said earlier about Cheeto, as far as him waiting, because he has an ace in his pocket, that's not always the best game plan, especially you're fighting, somebody that knows you. Izzy knows him at this point. They fought so many times. He really knows this man. He knows what he's going to do, where he's going to go, and he has a counter for what he's going to do and where he's going to go. Whether that counter works or not, he knows him. So I think that would be a bad game plan for Alex, and I don't think that that's what Glover, I saw Chuck there, and the rest of his coaches are going to suggest. So who do I have? I'm going to take Izzy. I'm going to take Izzy in this fight. I think that Izzy finds a way to avoid the left hand, makes it into a mixed martial arts fight, not a kickboxing match. If Izzy can stay away from the cage, not get cornered in, and continues to move, uses reach, uses technique, mix in some takedowns, I think that Izzy can walk away and get his belt back. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, I'm hoping at least for him. Because what happens if he loses? What's he going to do? Same situation as Kamaru. Like, why? Now, Izzy's younger than Kamaru and he doesn't have, knee issues. Kamaru is probably on eBay right now looking for knees. I don't know what he's doing because them knees ain't going to work. The warranty's out on those, but Izzy's not in that same situation. He can go up. He can wait for Alex to go up. He can go fight fun fights. He can do a variety of things, but it would be interesting to see what happens if he were to lose. But I don't think he's going to lose. I think he's going to win. So we'll see how that goes. So yeah, that's a wrap, man. We've done almost 50 minutes here. Again, hit all the socials. We'll be on during the fights on Twitter. Just watching, commenting, just calling it like we see it. So if you're on, definitely follow, jump in the conversation, leave some funny stuff in the comments, do whatever, man. But hit us up and we'll hit you back. And, like I said, we'll start the conversation. That's what makes this shit fun. Talking about it, prognosticating, guessing, arguing. That's what makes this whole thing fun. So we're definitely down to do that. So till next time, we'll see you.